What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today we are taking a look at this gorgeous and stunning collaboration piece between TI2 Designs and Shirogorov on this quantum model. Now, I have featured a couple of the what were they called? Sorry, Romeo and Juliet quantums, and was one of them an F95? There may have been an F95 in there. I'd have to backtrack and look. I believe I've done a video on one of them, so those were beautifully well done knives. And here we go again with another TI2 design, gorgeous collaboration piece from the pair. So this is what we're taking a look at today. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of coffee, a beer, a wine, a Coca-Cola, whatever you're kind of into on this gorgeous day. And I guess sit back and relax, because we've got a beauty on the docket today. So as a reminder, guys, check out my site, BladeZilla.ca, here in Canada, where I got a lot of the cool stuff that's featured on this YouTube channel available. So we just added some really cool CKF FIF18s, some Pakillos, a restock on the Aquamarine F3s and that beautiful Alatex handle. Some still have a deep sea Technocarbo, really cool aquatic special edition. Added some Keishas. I really feel like these Anzo of Denmarks are ones you guys need to pay more attention to. That is such a cool brand, and I think Anzo Denmark, those are sleepers. Rockstead, Microtech, Protech, TRM, lots of good stuff, CKFs on the site. So there you go. We're not talking about BladeZilla.ca. We're here to talk about this stunner of a knife. And every now and then I've got to just grab something that really calls me, and it's just so fun to do videos on this stuff. So I guess we should start with, well, what the heck is this knife called? And how many are made? Are more coming, etc.? And I'll try my best to answer it, even though I've got very limited information on this, as is customary. So it is called the Quantum Black Hula Pixelated Skull. And the Pixelated Skull is, as you can see, very evident in how it's labeled and named. So there's actual pixels in the milling on this to make it the Pixelated Skull. And then all the anodization work here is also pixelated to kind of pop those skulls out. And as I rotate the knife with the light above it, hopefully you can kind of see those skulls pop out from the pixels. So, an absolute heavy hitter. And then you flip it over, and lo and behold, they've done it again, including a gap over top of that lock bar, and they've kept it gorgeous, which is not necessarily very easy to do while maintaining a pattern. So there's the pixelated eyes, the pinch in the eyebrows, etc., the teeth, everything looks so good. And then the pop of color on the blue pixels just looks terrific. The problem that I have with this is that I have it is black ano, or a very dark color, and my fingers tend to leave fingerprints. So like around here, you can see I've already held it there, so it pops out. This is not a blemish on the knife. This is just my excitement fading into the knife, and I love how it even wraps the pivot up front with some little skulls just hiding right here. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the main 6 skulls popping on this design on the one side. And a couple more hidden on the lock bar side. Just gorgeous right there, and there, and there. And do we have any up here, down? Oh, one more down here hiding under the pivot. Absolutely super. I guess we'll start with some measurements on this in case this is your first time seeing a quantum. I never know who's watching these videos, if it's the first time to the channel and first time seeing a Shirogorov quantum, first time seeing a TI2 Designs special. Who knows? So let's just quickly do a quick overview of a quantum here. So 8 3/4 inch overall length with a blade of about 4 inches, just a hair under 4 inches, which is really good for a lot of states actually. And then we have a handle of just under 5 inches as well, which is perfect. And closed, it's the same all around. It's really not that different, so I don't need to show that measurement. But on front flippers, I tend to show a closed handle just to get a measurement from here to here. So it's a great size all around, nothing too crazy. In terms of weighing this bad boy here, I can't see it being much more than the standard quantum at around the 4 ounce range, but my scale is not wanting to turn on here. This is just terrific. So we'll get it on the scale, as there is a lot of material taken externally off of this versus internal. Actually, let's zero that. 4.2 ounces. So there you go. Kind of as predicted, around that 4 ounce range. And remember, so when these showpieces, or when these kind of collaborations kind of come around, this is a Quantum Ursus, internally skeletonized variant of a Quantum. Like it's a high-end body, right? Because it's not slabbed tie. I don't know if I can show it on the inside. There is all the pocketed milling on the inside. Some of the Quantum Ursuses don't have any of that, so they're just kind of very lightly milled. But they do take more of a high-end piece and then kind of throw on a blade. You're not paying for the blade in this case. You're paying for the extensive detail work, the extensive pattern work, the attention to detail, and the fact that there's 5. I said that correctly. Currently, and I'm filming this in August 2025, there are 5 of these available. And I often look at this and go, blue and black, super killer color. It looks fantastic. I wonder if they'll do any other variants of this, where it's more like a red or a green or whatever. Or maybe they just pump out some more blue ones. I don't know. I don't even know if they'll do any more. To me, this design is so good. It would be such a shame if they don't make more than 5. And if they only make 5, then I can tell you this piece will be going up in value at an alarming rate, just based on the level of detail and how well it's done, design and execution. So I just based on kind of seeing some of the collaboration pieces that Shiro has done in the US proper, some of them that come to mind, obviously the other TI2 variants on the pens, as well as the Quantums and the F95s, the Romeo Juliets, the Alexei Konagin. I can't recall if those are, I think those are Quantums. And, they did those in a couple different colorways. So it's always cool to kind of see that. I think they were brown and blue. So who knows, maybe there'll be a brown one of these. Maybe it'll be green. Maybe we'll see red. I really don't know. Maybe we'll see nothing. I just think that these look just way too good to just turn out 5 of these. If they've done all this design work, it would be such a shame. So let's take a look at how it compares to a couple of the other Shiros in my case beside me, just because that's kind of the spirit of what we like to do around here, is do some comparisons. So we will start with the Stellar, their 85mm bladed high-end production piece. Geez, I'm trying to think, what colors have they done this in now? Bronze, tie, and they did a blue as well. Really cool, all the same knife, just different anodization. Really well done knife. A lot of people really dig the Stellar just because it's their medium knife. There's a Quantum proper size comparison. As you can see, they're the same size. This is a monkey edge frag pattern Quantum in a single row bearing. One of the first Shiros I actually got. Really, really nicely done. We'll do a Hattie. Half tie is what the Hattie stands for. That is a carbon front scaled, or carbo tie front scaled F95. And this particular one is from a show in 2021, I believe. And I think they called it I can't remember what it was. I wanted to say the copper COVID killer, but I don't think that's what it was. It was just a CCKS knife with a copper backspacer. And really nicely done. I've got a couple more of these Hatties on the site still. I think I've got a white carbo tie, or maybe a white carbo. I can't remember. I've got a couple Gen 5s or Gen 4 Hatties, Gen 3 Hatties on the site still, and they're kind of hanging around. So get them while you can, because I imagine once they're done, they're gone. The Astrum, that was my 2024 knife of the year, and just a really good size. I've always kind of said it's a large neon in a inset tab lock configuration, and I still kind of stand by that. It's just a really nice, you look at the spec size on the blade, on the length of everything, and you think it's a huge knife, but it's really not a big knife at all. Gorgeous milling lines. They've custom divisioned this as well. They've done full customs of it. I regret not keeping one of the Astrum touches that came through recently in the last year or so ago. Those were cool. Once again, 50 pieces of a production knife, just with a cool milling pattern. But I think the Astrum is just so cool. And I just wonder if they're going to do anything with it at any point, because they have not really touched it for around a year. And I wonder You know, there's two things you can kind of do with it. Make it cheaper. So maybe LMAX blade it and change materials. I don't know. Or just completely mix it up all around and do something different. I don't know. Carbon or something. That'd be cool. Let's see. What else do we have here that is noteworthy? We can do the Shiro Bio. This is a Sienkiewicz collaboration from a few years back, Bio Dark. And the milling lines on this are meant to look like the rib cage and sternum, etc. on a human being. So I think it looks really cool. Personally, they make a Bio Light as well as the Dark, and it's one of my all-time fave collaboration pieces. Let's get into an RJ Martin Shiro collaboration piece. This is the Russian Overkill. Another classic, a bit of a big knife, but really cool. They did, maroon micarta, black micarta, green micarta variants of this, as well as the, let me think here, Molten Overkill, Arctic Overkill, and am I missing one? I'm probably missing one. Denim. They did the Denim Overkill. Really cool. The Russian Laksa. This is the Russian flipping Laksa. That was, late in the year. Could easily be the knife of the year. Every year that I've had it. It's just such a gorgeous knife. Scott Cook collaboration piece. And one of my all-time faves. Integral as well, which is their first integral. And I always like to say, if there's a first, there'll be more. There is your fat strip. And this one is another Sienkiewicz collaboration piece, and I did a whole lengthy video on this one. It's so cool. I should start throwing some fit strip on the channel because it's not getting enough love, that knife. It's such a beautifully done knife, and a lot of people, for what this knife is, the fat strip, which is this, is way too fat. It's a weird knife, which is why I find I really like it, because it's quirky in that it's got a 5mm blade in a smaller package, and the last time they used 5mm on blade stock was on the F95 Icebreaker, which is just a beast of a knife. Such a cool milling job on that one. But for most people, the fit strip is probably the best choice, honestly, in hand. It's more comfortable because it's a normal thickness. So fit, fat, and who knows where that line's going. Let's do the Umnumzan, and then we'll do a small Sebenza, and then I think that's all the comparison we'll do, just to show the sizing. There's your Zan, and I'll grab my small Sebenza, the baby Sebenza. I've got a soft spot now in my heart for the word baby because I have a newborn, and up until now it really wasn't a word I've used a lot of, but lately it's all I hear or see on social media. Is everything to do with newborns. And we'll do one more in F95. This is a bear pattern in bronze, real cool, just dark. It occurred to me, I still have a Shirogorov bear pattern F95 on the site in gold anno from Blade Show, and it was buried, for some reason it never bumped up in inventory. It was kind of just hanging at the bottom of the list. And anyway, I dropped the price on that one. It comes with a real cool bead. It's $100 more than a standard version, and they're limited to 50 pieces in the world. And I still have one on the site. So I thought I didn't have any, but I guess I did. So there you go. Check out the F95 Gold Anno Blade Show Bear Pattern Limited Edition. That's still up on the site there. Hopefully it's a little more easy to find. And I think that's all I'm going to use for comparison on this gorgeous Quantum. In terms of fit, finish, etc. on these, it's a very high-end offering from Shirogorov and TI2 Design. It doesn't really get any better than this in terms of the customization factor. You can see, look at how we've got some blue anno on the handle, and we've got some black anno on the handle on one side. It's just so terrifically well done. It doesn't really get better. And if you're a collector of Shiros, the person who's buying this will probably be a person that's got a case of Shirogorovs and wants to keep it gorgeous and keep it unique because there's not many of them. You're not buying this because of the Chromax blade. As I said earlier, they throw Chromax on these type of offerings. I don't know if that's a deal with Shirogorov in the ability to modify their knives, and they don't want to do an M390 blade on it. I don't know. But like I said, it's not the reason you buy this knife. It's not for the blade. It's for the handle. You've got the high-end milling on the internal skeletonization, and then the high-end milling on the external side of it. The pixelation, the colorways, the anodization, the clip, the milling underneath the clip, it's all expertly done to a very high degree. And you know what? It's an internally attached clip, which I believe, I have to look, I don't know if all of the Ursus line has that. They might, but that's a nice little touch there as well. And that black ano is just, oh, it's stunning. And nothing really pops more than the pixelized, the blue. Because remember, I sit here with a fixed light on top. So when I rotate the knife, it doesn't really sparkle and shine like it does in natural light, because I need multiple sources. And that could be something, maybe I'll get another, at some point here, another light source. Maybe that should be on my list for the next Prime Day. But it truly like sings in natural light, and it just sparkles on both sides, not just the show side, not just the back side. It truly shines. Another absolute winner from TI2 Designs. And you know, it'd be great for someone who's probably, you know, I look back in the last, 5 years or so, they've done a handful of the Shirogorov TI2 Design pens. Those pieces, man, would go so well with this knife. Same with the Romeo and Juliet. They would just blend so nicely together as a pair. Just because, let's be honest, the colors match. Skulls pop nicely. He really does a lot of the skull stuff, which is cool. And it just, I don't know, it just works. It just works really well. Other than, you know, I'm not trying to break down the Shirogorov Quantum. I've got probably 5 or 6 or 10 videos on different variants of Shiro Quantums, probably a dozen, more, geez, by now. I don't need to talk about the merit of the Quantum being such a cool and trendy design, because it just works so well. The flipper tab being built into the top of the handle frame, the multi-row bearing system, MRBS, that these knives come with, the 4-inch blade that is sub 4-inch on paper, which makes it legal in a lot of places, the internally attached clip, you know, things I wish this particular model, I wish it had. If I could relay information to the team and say, guys, I wish it had an M390 blade on it, just because I know people will see Chromax and complain, and I wish it had a backspacer. That would be it, versus a standoff. I know that you can't just take this design and slap it onto a different knife, and I know the high-end Quantums aren't the same, probably material-wise, thickness-wise, design-wise, and they're all made on milling programs and stuff, so they're not as interchangeable as perhaps I think. But from a vast consumer point of view, I wish it had M390. It's not a deterrent for me, but you know, the average bear will say, M390, it's way better. And Chromax is actually like an unreal steel, by the way. An unreal value steel. It's basically LMAX. Actually, it's basically better than LMAX by a little bit. So that's kind of cool. But LMAX is the brand name. If they slapped LMAX on this, people wouldn't complain. In fact, that would be a new twist on a Quantum Ursus, throwing LMAX. I don't know if I've ever seen an LMAX Quantum. That'd be kind of cool. So there you go. I don't have a whole lot else to talk about on this particular knife. I just wanted to show the knife, talk about how insanely sick it is, how there's 5, and there's one of them here, which is just blows my mind, and you know, speculate perhaps at what's to come. And I'm only assuming there's more of these coming. In who knows if they're blue, who knows if they're different colors, who knows what, but the fact that they look so good, I hope more are coming, and I hope I can get some of them. I really do. Gorgeous. What else is kind of coming down the line here on the site if we're paying attention? I've got a bunch of Riet stuff coming in over the next week. Bunch of Riet stuff, so just keep posted on the site for that. They'll be doing drops probably every day on Read It stuff moving forward. Same with another bunch of null knives, so keep that in mind. But hey, that's coming down the pipe. Keep an eye out for that. But more than anything, the Shiro is just off the hook. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Check out BladeZilla.ca, Instagram, YouTube. Throw a thumbs up. Subscribe. Always dropping content on the channel. TikTok, Threads, and Facebook as well. I'm pretty easy to track down. If you have any questions or just want to chat knives or all that fun stuff. Okay, guys, well, have yourself a great week and appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Peace.